All I want for Christmas is you.
What?
Thandiwe had jokingly whispered those words into the ear of a restaurant customer. It was just a cheesy flirt to get an extra tip. But what she didn't know was that she'd unknowingly bound herself to the deadliest man in Chicago. Now he wants her, and he'd do anything to have her, even if it means killing everyone Thandiwe loves, including her. But how exactly did we get here? How did a mere waitress become the most feared mafia queen in Chicago? Want to know how? Hit that subscribe button to be part of our fabulous soul family and comment where you're watching from. Now let's go back to where it all started, with a Christmas promotion. A whispered joke, words that should have meant nothing. 3 weeks earlier, Thandiwe stood frozen in the doorway of her apartment, staring at the eviction notice. 17 days. That's all she had left before she'd be on the street. Her phone buzzed with another message from Graceland Hospice. Her father's bill was 3 months overdue. They were threatening to move him to a state facility. She couldn't breathe. The walls closed in. 27 years old, a medical school dropout, working doubles at a restaurant that barely covered groceries. This wasn't how her life was supposed to go. "Girl, you look like death," Tasha said, appearing in the staff room at Rosalie's restaurant. Tasha was her best friend, the only person who knew how bad things really were. "Rick's got us doing that stupid Christmas promotion tonight. Whisper pickup lines for tips." Thandiwe wanted to scream. Instead, she forced a smile. "Guess I don't have a choice." "Table 7, Tasha said, adjusting her Santa hat. "That Korean guy who's been watching you for months, he tips crazy. Use him." Han-ji-woo sat alone at table 7 like he did every Thursday. Expensive suit, empty table. Eyes that tracked Thandiwe's every movement with unnerving focus. She'd noticed him before, impossible not to. Beautiful in a dangerous way, like a blade catching light. Thandiwe approached, her heart pounding. "Hi, so this is awkward, but there's a promotion." "You don't have to," Ji-woo said quietly, looking up at her. His eyes were dark, intense, seeing too much. "I'll leave you $500, just go." Something about his tone made her defensive. "I don't need pity." "It's not pity." He gestured to the seat across from him. "Sit." Thandiwe should have walked away. Instead, she sat, breaking every restaurant rule. Up close, she saw scars on his knuckles. The way 3 men scattered throughout the restaurant kept glancing his direction. "You come here every week," Thandiwe said. "Same table, same time. Why?" Ji-woo's lips curved slightly. "This is the only place no one asks me questions. Until now." "Until now?" he agreed. Then his expression shifted, became serious. "Say the line." "What?" "The promotion, say it." Thandiwe's pulse quickened. She leaned forward, whispered against his ear, "All I want for Christmas is you." Ji-woo went completely still. When he spoke, his voice was rough. "Say it again." "It's just a joke." His hand caught her wrist, gentle but firm. "Please, say it again." Something in his eyes, desperate, hungry, lonely, made her repeat it. "All I want for Christmas is you." Ji-woo closed his eyes like she'd given him something holy. When he opened them, everything had changed. A decision made. A bridge crossed. "Okay," he said simply. He released her wrist, stood and placed an envelope on the table. $5,000 and an address, tomorrow 8 p.m. Come. He walked out before Thandiwe could respond, those 3 men following like shadows. Inside the envelope was exactly what he'd promised, plus a card, 875 North Michigan Avenue, penthouse. Tasha appeared instantly. "What just happened?" "I have no idea," Thandiwe whispered. But she'd be at that address tomorrow. She knew it. He knew it. What Thandiwe didn't see was Tasha photographing the card and texting someone. Contact made. The next night, Thandiwe entered the most expensive building she'd ever seen. The doorman knew her name. The elevator opened directly into Jiwoo's penthouse. Glass walls, city lights, wealth beyond comprehension. Jiwoo stood by the windows, and when he turned, Thandiwe saw he was nervous. Actually nervous. "You came," he said softly. "I came to return the money." Thandiwe held out the envelope. "Keep it." Jiwoo moved closer but stopped 3 feet away. "You said you wanted me for Christmas. I'm taking that seriously." "It was a promotion, a joke." "Was it?" Jiwoo's gaze pinned her. "Because when you said it the second time, you looked me in the eyes, and it didn't sound like a joke." Thandiwe's breath caught. He was right. "I've been watching you for 6 months," Jiwoo continued, "trying to find the courage to speak to you. You're brilliant, Thandiwe, too smart to be serving tables, too proud to ask for help, too tired to dream." "Stop," she whispered. "I know what it's like to survive instead of live," Jiwoo said. "I grew up in poverty in South Korea, came here with nothing, built everything from the ground up. I see that same exhaustion in you." "So what? You're going to save me?" "No, you'll save yourself. I'll just give you the resources." He gestured to the dining table set with food that made Thandiwe's heart stop. Jollof rice, plantains, chin-chin cookies, her father's recipes, her favorites. "How do you know?" "I pay attention to what matters." Jiwoo pulled out a chair. "Have dinner with me, let me know you, that's all I'm asking." Thandiwe sat, and for 2 hours they talked. Really talked. He shared carefully edited truths about his past. She told him about medical school, her father's cancer, the dreams slowly dying under debt. "What would you do if money wasn't a factor?" Jiwoo asked. "Finish my degree, pay off Dad's hospice, open a clinic." Thandiwe laughed bitterly. "Stupid dreams." Jiwoo pulled out his phone, made a call in rapid Korean, then hung up. "Your father's hospice bill has been paid. $53,000. Full end-of-life care, upgraded to a private room." Thandiwe's world tilted. "What? You can't?" "I already did." "That's insane. You don't even know me." "I know enough." Jiwoo stood as she did. "You said you wanted me. I'm giving you everything that comes with that: protection, resources, a future where you're not drowning." "In exchange for what?" "Be mine," Jiwoo said simply. "Not property, partner. Let me take care of you the way no one ever has." "This is too fast." "Then we'll slow down, but the hospice payment stands. That's not conditional. Your father deserves dignity." Thandiwe's eyes burned with tears. "Why?" "Because 6 months ago you dropped a tray. You were exhausted, barely standing, and instead of breaking down, you cleaned it up while apologizing to everyone around you. You take care of everyone else. I want to take care of you." The tears fell. Jiwoo offered a handkerchief without touching her. "I need time," she managed. "Take it." "But Thandiwe," his voice dropped. "You're mine now. I'll protect you, provide for you, kill for you if necessary." The threat should have terrified her. Instead, something dark in her chest responded with hunger. Jiwoo called her a car. As Thandiwe rode home, her phone buzzed. Payment confirmation to Graceland Hospice. Then another notification. $10,000 deposited to her account. Memo. "For your dreams." She called him immediately. "I can't accept." "You can, you will." Jiwoo's voice was firm. "I won't stop, Thandiwe. I'm in your life now. Whether as a friend or more is your choice." "Okay," she whispered. "Slowly, as friends. That's all I ask." But as Thandiwe hung up, she didn't notice Tasha watching from across the street. Didn't see Tasha meet with a beautiful Korean woman named Hye-jin 2 blocks away. "She's falling for it," Tasha said, clutching an envelope of cash, guilt eating her alive. Hye-jin smiled coldly. "Perfect. Keep me updated, where they go, what she says, everything." You promised to clear my debt. And I will. Once I remove her permanently. Hyejin started the car. Jiwoo is mine. He just doesn't remember it yet. 5 days later, Thandiwe visited her father at the hospice. The difference was staggering. Private room, real food, nurses who smiled. Her father, barely conscious but comfortable, squeezed her hand. "Someone's taking care of you," he whispered. "Yeah, Papa, someone is." "Be careful, my girl. Men who give everything often want everything in return." His words haunted her as she left. Her phone rang. Jiwoo. "How's your father?" he asked. "Better. Because of you." Thandiwe paused. "Thank you. Have dinner with me tonight, somewhere public, anywhere you choose." They met at a small Korean restaurant Jiwoo said he'd worked at as a teenager. No guards visible, no flash. Just him, cooking in the back kitchen with the elderly owner. "Mr. Kim taught me everything," Jiwoo said, his hands skilled with the knife. "When I came here at 14, illegal and starving, he fed me, gave me work. Didn't ask questions." Thandiwe watched him cook, saw the scars on his hands, the tension in his shoulders. "Where's your family now?" Jiwoo's jaw tightened. "My father, and we don't speak. He believed in teaching through pain. Cigarette burns, broken bones. Said it made men strong. That's not strength. That's abuse. I know that now." Jiwoo plated the food, brought it to their table. "But for a long time I thought love and violence were the same thing." They ate in comfortable silence until Thandiwe asked, "What do you really do, Jiwoo? For money?" His expression shuddered. "Real estate, hospitality, import-export." "That's not an answer." "It's the answer you can live with." Jiwoo met her eyes. "I'm not a good man, Thandiwe, but I'm trying to be good to you. Can that be enough for now?" It should have been a red flag, a screaming warning. Instead, Thandiwe nodded. Over the next week, Jiwoo was everywhere. Flowers delivered to the restaurant. Her rent paid for 6 months. A random scholarship opportunity that would cover her return to medical school. Every gift was significant, impossible to refuse, tying her closer to him. Thandiwe told herself she could handle it, that she was in control. She was wrong. On day 12, Jiwoo invited her to what she thought was dinner. Instead, she walked into a private room filled with 15 Korean men in expensive suits. Jiwoo stood at the head of the table. "This is Thandiwe," he announced. "My woman. You answer to her as you answer to me." Every man stood and bowed. Thandiwe's blood ran cold. She grabbed Jiwoo's arm, pulled him aside. "What the hell was that?" "You said you wanted me. This is what comes with me." "I was joking about a Christmas promotion." Jiwoo's face showed genuine confusion. "You didn't mean it?" "No, I needed a tip." Something cracked in his expression. Vulnerability, fear. "But you said it again. You looked me in the eyes and said it again. I thought—" He stopped, jaw working. "I thought someone finally wanted me. The real me." Thandu's anger wavered. This powerful, dangerous man looked suddenly lost. "You can't just decide I'm yours." "Then tell me what you want," Jiwoo said quietly. "Tell me your terms, but don't leave. Please, I'll do anything." "I want honesty." "What do you really do?" Jiwoo was silent for a long moment. "I run businesses, some legal, some less so. I protect territory, solve problems, make sure certain rules are followed." "You're a criminal." "Yes, a gang leader." "The term is organization, but yes." Thandiwe should have run. Instead, she asked, "Have you killed people?" "Yes." "Will you lie to me?" "Not if you ask directly." She took a shaky breath. "I need time to think, and you need to back off. No more surprise meetings. No more involving me in your organization. If we do this, we do it my way." Jiwoo nodded slowly. "Your way." I can do that. But as Thandiwe left, Jiwoo's second-in-command, Min Jun, approached. Boss, she's a liability. She knows too much. Touch her and I'll kill you myself, Jiwoo said coldly. She's not a liability. She's everything. Min Jun bowed and retreated, but his expression was troubled. That night, Tasha came to Thandiwe's apartment with wine and concern. You're in over your head, girl. I know, Thandiwe admitted, but he's not what I expected. He's damaged, Tasha, lonely, and when he looks at me, I feel like I matter. Men like that are dangerous, Tasha said, but guilt flickered in her eyes. Have you heard things about him? Tasha hesitated. Just rumors that he's connected, powerful. Not someone to mess with. What Tasha didn't say, that she'd been reporting every word of this conversation to Hyejin, that her gambling debts to a rival gang had her trapped, that Hyejin had promised to clear everything if Tasha kept feeding information. Be careful, Tasha said, hugging her best friend while betrayal sat bitter on her tongue. After Tasha left, Thandiwe Googled Jiwoo for the first time, found nothing concrete, just whispers, suspected ties to organized crime, rumors of violence. Nothing proven. Her phone rang. Jiwoo. I'm giving you space, he said, but I need you to know everything I have is yours now. I've transferred assets into your name, properties, accounts. If something happens to me, you're protected. Jiwoo, I can't. It's done. My lawyer will contact you. Don't argue. This is how I show love, by making sure you never have to survive alone again. He hung up before she could protest. 3 days later, Thandiwe received documents from Jiwoo's lawyer. She skimmed them, saw her name, saw dollar amounts that made her dizzy. Signed where indicated, trusting it was protection like Jiwoo said. She had no idea she'd just made herself legally complicit in money laundering. Across town, in an upscale apartment, Hyejin smiled at her phone. Tasha had sent photos of the documents. Perfect, Hyejin murmured. Now she's trapped. Time to remove her permanently. She made a call. To Korea. To a man who'd been waiting 6 years for revenge. Father, she said in Korean, it's time to come to Chicago. Your son has found a weakness, and I know exactly how to exploit it. On the other end, Han Dae-jung, Jiwoo's estranged father, the former boss Jiwoo had overthrown, laughed darkly. A black woman? My son chooses a black woman? He's made this too easy. I'll have everything arranged, Hyejin promised. By Christmas, Jiwoo will be broken and you'll have your empire back. And the girl? Dead, obviously. Hyejin hung up and looked at the photo of Jiwoo she kept on her nightstand. You were supposed to choose me, she whispered. I've waited 8 years, bled for you, killed for you, and you choose her? Her hands clenched into fists. If I can't have you, neither can she. Meanwhile, Thandiwe was falling asleep, unaware that 3 different people were plotting her destruction. Unaware that Jiwoo's love had painted a target on her back. Unaware that her best friend's betrayal would cost her everything. In the darkness, her phone lit up with a text from Jiwoo. Sweet dreams. You're safe. I promise. But promises, Thandiwe would learn, meant nothing in a world built on violence and lies. And the clock was ticking toward Christmas, when blood would spill and choices would be made that couldn't be undone. Day 18 arrived with snow and secrets. Thandiwe's father passed away peacefully in his sleep, pain-free for the first time in months thanks to Jiwoo's intervention. She called Jiwoo from the hospice, her voice breaking. He's gone, she whispered. I'm coming, Jiwoo said. No questions, no hesitation. He arrived within 20 minutes, still in a suit from whatever meeting he'd left. He didn't offer empty platitudes, just pulled Thandiwe into his arms and let her shatter against his chest. For 72 hours, he didn't leave her side. He arranged the funeral, paid for everything, flew in relatives from South Africa, handled details Thandiwe couldn't process through her grief. At the funeral, Thandiwe watched him stand apart from her family, respectful of boundaries even now. She saw how his men circled the perimeter, saw how he scanned every face with predator awareness, protecting her even in mourning. After everyone left, Thandiwe found Jiwoo standing alone by her father's grave. "Thank you," she said quietly, "for everything." Jiwoo turned and she saw raw emotion in his eyes. "I'm sorry I couldn't give you more time with him. You gave him dignity, peace. That's more than I could have given alone." Thandiwe stepped closer. "Why are you really doing all this?" "Because you're mine," Jiwoo said simply. "And I protect what's mine. I can't be owned." "Then own me back." He pulled her close, and Thandiwe didn't resist. "I'm yours, Thandiwe. Every broken piece, every sin, every breath, yours." That night in Jiwoo's penthouse, they crossed a line they couldn't uncross. It wasn't gentle or romantic, it was desperate, raw, two damaged people seeking comfort in skin and heat. Afterward, lying in his bed, Thandiwe traced the scars on his back. "Your father?" she asked. "Yes." Jiwoo's voice was flat. "He believed pain built character. That weakness had to be beaten out. When I was 16, I fought back, took over his organization, sent him back to Korea. You were a child. I was a survivor." Jiwoo turned to face her. "He made me into exactly what he feared, someone stronger and more ruthless than him. But with you, I want to be different, softer, human." Thandiwe's heart cracked open. "I'm falling for you and it terrifies me." "Good. I've been terrified since the moment you whispered those words." Jiwoo kissed her forehead. "I need you to sign some documents tomorrow, business transfers. My lawyer will explain everything." "Okay," Thandiwe agreed, exhausted and trusting. She had no idea what she'd just agreed to. The next morning, Jiwoo's lawyer arrived with a stack of papers. Thandiwe, still foggy with grief and new intimacy, signed where indicated. The lawyer explained they were investment partnerships, asset protections. It sounded legitimate. Every signature made her complicit in money laundering. Every document tied her fate to Jiwoo's criminal empire. She signed them all. In a surveillance van, 2 blocks away, FBI agent Sarah Kim watched through a telephoto lens. Got her. She just signed the Riverside Holdings transfer. That's $47 million in laundered money with her name on it. Her partner, Agent Martinez, grimaced. She has no idea what she's signing. Doesn't matter, she's legally liable now. Agent Kim reviewed the files they'd been building for 3 years. Han Ji-woo's organization controlled prostitution, illegal gambling, and extortion across Chicago's North Side. They'd been waiting for one mistake. We move on Christmas Eve, maximum impact when his guard's down. Back at Thandiwe's apartment, Tasha arrived with coffee and sympathy. "How are you holding up?" "I don't know," Thandiwe admitted. "Dad's gone. Jiwoo's been amazing. But I feel like I'm drowning in a life I don't understand." "What do you mean?" "He had me sign business documents this morning, investment stuff, but what if—" Thandiwe stopped, voicing fears she'd been suppressing. "What if he's not who I think he is?" Tasha's guilt threatened to choke her. "Then you need to be careful, girl. Have you heard anything else about him?" Tasha thought about the meetings with Hyejin, the photos she'd been sending, the blood money clearing her gambling debts. "Just be careful," she repeated weakly. After Thandiwe left for work, Tasha texted Hyejin. "She signed documents this morning. Legal papers." Hyejin's response was immediate. "Perfect. The trap is set. Father arrives tomorrow." Tasha stared at her phone, hands shaking. She'd meant to just gather information, clear her debts, and get out. But this was spiraling into something darker. Something that might get Thandiwe killed. She typed, "I'm out. I can't do this anymore." Hyojin's reply made her blood freeze. "You're out when I say you're out. Remember, I have photos of you at the Southside gambling den. Photos of you stealing from the restaurant register. One call to the police and you're done. Keep reporting or face consequences." Tasha threw her phone across the room and sobbed. She'd destroyed her best friend to save herself, and now she couldn't stop the destruction she'd started. That evening, Ji-woo took Thandiwe to an upscale Korean restaurant. Private room, just the two of them. Or so she thought. Midway through dinner, the door opened. A man in his 60s entered, flanked by guards. He had Ji-woo's eyes, but colder. Dead. Ji-woo stood slowly, his entire body going rigid. "What are you doing here?" "Is that any way to greet your father?" Han Dae-jung said in accented English. He looked at Thandiwe with open contempt. "So this is the woman who's made you weak." Thandiwe's stomach dropped. This was Ji-woo's father. The man he'd overthrown, the monster who'd scarred him. "Leave, now." Ji-woo's voice was deadly quiet. "I've come to take back what's mine," Dae-jung said. "The families agree you've become a liability. A Korean boss with a black whore? You've dishonored everything we built." Ji-woo moved so fast Thandiwe barely saw it. One moment he was seated. The next his hand was around his father's throat, slamming him against the wall. "Say another word about her and I'll kill you here," Ji-woo hissed in Korean. Dae-jung smiled despite the chokehold. "You won't. You've gone soft. That's why the board has voted no confidence. I'm taking back control and your little distraction will be eliminated." Guards flooded the room. Dae-jung's men. Ji-woo released his father and moved to shield Thandiwe. "This isn't over," Dae-jung said, straightening his collar. "Enjoy your last days together. Christmas is coming, son. And so is justice." He left, taking his men with him. Ji-woo remained frozen, rage vibrating through every muscle. "Ji-woo." Thandiwe touched his arm. He flinched away. "I need to get you somewhere safe, now." "What's happening?" "A war." Ji-woo pulled out his phone, barked orders in Korean. "My father wants his empire back, and he'll use you to get to me." Within an hour, Thandiwe was in a safe house, a luxury apartment with armed guards. Ji-woo left her there despite her protests. "I'll fix this," he promised. "Just stay here. Trust me." But trust was becoming complicated. That night, alone and scared, Thandiwe finally did what she should have done weeks ago. She Googled deeper, found Reddit threads, news articles buried in archives, witnesses who'd vanished. The truth emerged in pieces. Han Ji-woo ran the largest prostitution ring in Chicago. Illegal gambling, extortion. At least 7 suspected murders never proven. His father had been worse. Human trafficking, including minors. Ji-woo had stopped that when he took over, but he'd kept everything else running. The man she loved was exactly what she'd feared. A criminal. Dangerous. Possibly irredeemable. Her phone rang. Unknown number. "Ms. Oliskan, this is FBI agent Sarah Kim. We need to talk." Thandiwe's world tilted. "How did you get this number?" "We've been watching Han Ji-woo for 3 years, and now we're watching you." Agent Kim's voice was professional but not unkind. "You're in danger, not just from his father, from him, and from the law. I haven't done anything wrong. The documents you signed last week say otherwise. You're legally complicit in $47 million of money laundering, racketeering, wire fraud. You're looking at 25 years federal prison." Thandiwe couldn't breathe. "I didn't know." "Doesn't matter, you signed. But we can help each other. Meet me tomorrow. Come alone. I'll show you what he really is." The call ended. Thandiwe sat in the dark, walls closing in. Ji-woo had protected her, loved her, and trapped her all at once. The next morning, she slipped past the guards and met Agent Kim at a coffee shop. The agent showed her everything. Photos of Ji-woo meeting with known criminals. Financial records of shell companies. Surveillance footage of brothels operating under his protection. He made you complicit on purpose, Agent Kim explained. If you testify against him, you incriminate yourself. It's a loyalty bind. You can't betray him without destroying yourself. Why are you telling me this? Because we're moving on Christmas Eve. We'll arrest both of you unless you cooperate. Wear a wire. Get him talking about his operations. Give us what we need and you get full immunity. And if I refuse? Prison. 25 years minimum. Agent Kim slid a wire across the table. You have until 6 p.m. Christmas Eve to decide. After that, we come for you both. Thandiwe took the wire with shaking hands. What about his father? You said I'm in danger from him too. Daejung landed in Chicago yesterday. We have intelligence that he's planning to kill you to weaken Ji-woo before retaking the organization. We can protect you, but only if you cooperate. That night, Thandiwe returned to the safe house. Ji-woo was waiting, fury and worry warring on his face. Where were you? My men said you left. I needed air to think. Thandiwe met his eyes. Tell me the truth, all of it. What do you really do? Ji-woo was silent for a long moment. Then he told her. Everything. The prostitution, the gambling, the violence, the blood on his hands. He didn't justify or excuse, just laid it bare. I'm a criminal, he finished. I've done terrible things. But everything I've done since meeting you has been to build a life where I could be better. Where we could be something clean. By making me a criminal too? Thandiwe's voice broke. I signed those documents. The FBI says I'm complicit, that I could go to prison for 25 years. Ji-woo's face went white. What? They approached me today, showed me everything. They want me to wear a wire to testify against you. And if you don't? Ji-woo asked. We both go to prison. Ji-woo laughed, the sound bitter and broken. Of course. I tried to protect you by binding you to me, and instead I've destroyed you. He crossed to the window, staring out at the city lights. The FBI is right. I made you complicit deliberately. If you were tied to me legally, I thought you'd never leave, never betray me. That's not love. That's control. I know. Ji-woo turned and Thandiwe saw tears on his face for the first time. I know what love should look like. My father taught me the opposite. I thought if I could cage you with gold and legalities, you'd stay. I was wrong. So what now? Now I fix it. Ji-woo pulled out his phone. My lawyer has documents that will transfer all liability to me. They'll show you were an unknowing victim, forged signatures. I'll give the FBI everything they want. My father's trafficking network, Hae Jin's operations, everything. In exchange, you go free. And you? Prison or death? Depends on whether my father finds me first. Ji-woo smiled sadly. Either way, you're free of me. No. The word came out fierce. I'm not letting you sacrifice yourself. You don't have a choice. Yes, I do. Thandiwe pulled out the wire. I'm not working for the FBI, and I'm not letting you take the fall alone. We figure this out together or not at all. If you're loving this story, hit that like button and drop a comment with what you think Thandiwe should do. Should she trust Ji-woo or save herself? Ji-woo stared at the crushed wire on the floor. You just destroyed your immunity deal. I know. They'll arrest you. Then we run. My father will hunt us. The FBI will chase us. We'll spend the rest of our lives looking over our shoulders. Better than a life without you. Thandiwe grabbed his face. You're not your father. You've done terrible things, but you're trying to be better. That has to count for something. Ji-woo kissed her desperately. I don't deserve you. Probably not, but you're stuck with me anyway. Their moment shattered as gunfire erupted outside. Jiwoo shoved Thandiwe to the floor, covering her body with his. "They're here," he said grimly. "My father's men." The door exploded inward. Armed men flooded the apartment. Jiwoo fought like a demon, taking down 3 before being overwhelmed. Thandiwe screamed as they dragged him away. A woman entered last. Beautiful, cold, radiating hatred. Hye-jin. "You," she said, looking at Thandiwe with disgust. "You ruined everything. He was mine. I spent 8 years building his empire, warming his bed when convenient, waiting for him to see me as more than useful. Then you whisper one stupid sentence and he's ready to burn the world down." "I didn't ask for any of this," Thandiwe said, climbing to her feet despite her terror. "No, you just stumbled into it with your pathetic struggles and sob stories. Poor girl, dead daddy, broken dreams." Hyejin's smile was vicious. "Jiwoo loves broken things. It makes him feel strong to fix them, but you're not special. You're just his latest project." "If that's true, why do you care so much?" Hyejin slapped her, the crack echoing. "Because he never looked at me the way he looks at you. Never bled for me. Never chose me." Her voice broke on the last word. "I've killed for him, lied for him, destroyed myself for him, and he barely sees me. So this is jealousy? You're willing to kill me over jealousy?" "I'm willing to kill you to give Daijung what he wants. He gets his empire back, clears Jiwoo's weakness, you, and I get to run the operations I've built. Everyone wins, except you." Hyejin pulled a gun. "Any last words?" "Yeah," Thandiwe said. "You're pathetic. You traded your soul for a man who never wanted you. At least I chose this. You're just desperate." Hyejin's finger tightened on the trigger. A gunshot rang out, but it wasn't Thandiwe who fell. Hyejin crumpled, blood blooming across her chest. Behind her stood Tasha, holding a shaking gun. "Tasha!" Thandiwe gasped. "I'm sorry," Tasha sobbed. "I'm so sorry for everything. I was feeding her information. I was drowning in debt and she promised to clear it, and I was so stupid, so selfish." "Where's Jiwoo?" "Basement. Daejung has him." Tasha handed Thandiwe the gun. "I can't undo what I've done, but I can help you save him." They raced downstairs, following the sounds of violence. The basement had been converted into a makeshift interrogation room. Jiwoo was chained to a chair, bloodied but defiant. Daejung stood over him with a pipe. "You were weak from birth," Daejung said in Korean. "Your mother knew it. Why do you think she killed herself? She couldn't stand raising a disappointment." "My mother killed herself because you beat her daily," Jiwoo spat blood. "Because you're a monster who destroys everything you touch." Daejung raised the pipe. "And now I'll destroy you." "No!" Thandiwe fired the gun. The shot went wide, but it distracted Daejung long enough for Jiwoo to break free. The chains had been poorly secured, Daejung's arrogance. Jiwoo tackled his father and they crashed into the concrete floor. The fight was brutal. Father and son, years of abuse and hatred exploding into violence. Daejung was older but vicious. Jiwoo was younger but weakened from torture. They were evenly matched in cruelty. Thandiwe couldn't get a clear shot. Tasha pulled her back as more of Daejung's men rushed the stairs. Then sirens, lots of them. FBI agents swarmed the building, Agent Kim leading. "Everyone down!" In the chaos, Daejung grabbed a gun aimed at Jiwoo. Time slowed. Thandiwe saw the trajectory, saw Jiwoo's eyes widen, saw death coming. She threw herself between them. The bullet hit her shoulder, spinning her around. Pain exploded white-hot. She heard Jiwoo screaming her name, heard gunfire as FBI agents took down Daejung. Then darkness. Thandiwe woke in a hospital, Christmas lights blinking outside her window. Jiwoo sat beside her bed holding her hand. His face was bruised, stitched, exhausted. "You're alive," he whispered. "So are you." Thandiwe's shoulder throbbed, but she was alive. "What happened?" "My father's dead. FBI shot him when he wouldn't surrender. He had Jin's in custody, singing like a bird to avoid life in prison. She's giving them everything, names, locations, operations." Jiwoo's thumb traced her knuckles. "I made a deal." "What kind of deal?" "Full cooperation. I testify against everyone in my father's network, dismantle the trafficking operations, and serve 5 years minimum. In exchange, you get full immunity. The documents you signed are declared signed under duress and coercion. You're free." Thandiwe's heart broke. 5 years? Could have been life. Agent Kim said saving you counted for something. That and Hae Jin's testimony proving you had no knowledge of the criminal activities. Jiwoo smiled sadly. 5 years, Thandiwe. Then I'm out. Clean record after I serve my time. A chance to actually be the man you deserve. "I'll wait," Thandiwe said immediately. "No. Yes. You'll move on. Finish medical school, build your clinic, live the life you're meant to live." Jiwoo stood, kissed her forehead. "You gave me something I never thought I'd have. You made me want to be better, that's enough." "It's not enough for me." But Jiwoo was already walking away, marshals at the door waiting to take him into custody. "Jiwoo!" Thandiwe tried to sit up, pain screaming through her shoulder. He paused at the door. "All I wanted for Christmas was you, Thandiwe. I got my wish, even if just for a moment. Merry Christmas." Then he was gone. Agent Kim entered after he left. "You did the right thing." "Doesn't feel right," Thandiwe said bitterly. "For what it's worth, I think he really loved you. In his own broken way." Agent Kim set down papers. "These clear you of all charges. You're free to go once you're medically cleared." Tasha visited later, eyes red from crying. "I'm turning myself in. For my part in all this, I don't expect forgiveness." "You saved my life," Thandiwe said quietly. "After almost getting you killed, after betraying you for months." Tasha's voice broke. "I'm so sorry, Andy." "I know." Thandiwe didn't forgive, not yet, but maybe someday. "Get help, Tasha. Real help." After Tasha left, Thandiwe stared at the Christmas lights and made a decision. 5 years. Jiwoo would serve 5 years, so she had 5 years to build the life he'd wanted for her. Medical school, the clinic. A foundation strong enough to support them both when he got out, if he still wanted her then. 6 months later, Thandiwe walked into her first day of medical school fully funded by a legitimate scholarship. She'd sold the properties Jiwoo had transferred to her before his arrest, donated most of the money to trafficking victim support, and kept enough to live comfortably while studying. She wrote to Jiwoo weekly. He wrote back monthly. His letters were careful, hopeful, trying not to trap her with expectations. On Christmas Eve, exactly 1 year after everything exploded, Thandiwe visited him in prison. They sat across from each other, separated by glass, speaking through phones. "You came," Jiwoo said, looking healthier than she'd ever seen him. Prison had given him structure, therapy, space to heal. "I told you I'd wait," Thandiwe said. 4 more years is a long time. Then I guess we'll have a lot to talk about." She smiled. "All I want for Christmas is you, Jiwoo. Still, always." His eyes filled with tears. "I don't deserve you." "Probably not, but you're stuck with me anyway." They pressed their hands to the glass, separated by barriers but connected by choice. Not possession, not obligation, just 2 broken people choosing to heal together. Outside, snow began to fall. Christmas lights twinkled. And for the first time in either of their lives, they both felt something they'd never expected: hope. Because sometimes love isn't about perfect people finding each other. It's about damaged people choosing to be better together than they ever could be apart. What did you about Thandiwe and Jiwoo's story? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Did Thandiwe make the right choice? And make sure you're subscribed because we have more intense stories coming your way. Let us know where you're watching from. We love hearing from you all around the world. Merry Christmas. And remember, be careful what you wish for. You might just get it.